Hey guys, this is Pete with Crunch Time Coaching. Today I want to break down that match between Rafael Nadal and Alexander Zverev. It was incredible. And so today I just want to give my thoughts on why I thought. And so if you don't want to know the result, now's the time to not watch this video and skip, okay? But if you do want to know the results, I want to break down why Rafa was able to win today's match. It was amazing. Before we get into the match today, I mean, Zverev is for sure, like, we have been waiting a long, long time to kind of say, well, who could possibly be next? Who is going to be the person who stands up and finally, gets out of the shadow of the Roger Federers and Rafa Nadals and Djokovic and Murray? Who is going to be the next guy? This guy is the real deal. He is incredible. The power that he has off the ground and off his serve. I mean, the way he's just able to just smack winners out of anywhere on the court, and there is nothing anyone in the world can do about it, is really amazing. And it was an incredible effort by Rafa to be able to stand up to all that firepower, because it's not like this kid is very streaky with it. He's consistent with his firepower from start to finish. He's not really that erratic, which is pretty amazing as young as he is, and as hard as he hits the ball. He's very consistent for as hard as he hits the ball, and he's very consistent mentally for as young as he is. I mean, to stand toe-to-toe with Rafa Nadal, who is a living legend, obviously, for 5 sets, and not really backing down at all, physically or mentally, just a little bit. But considering who he's playing and the circumstances he's playing against, he is very mature for his age, very polished. Really, really strong. I mean, he's got all the makings of a champion. So let's get into, though, the breakdown of the match. Why was Rafa able to win today, and how can this actually help your game? I think a lot of people out there can take a lot of things from this match and use it in junior tennis, use it in adult tennis, because there was one reason besides all the talent. I mean, the talent is a given. Rafa is just like Zverev is a freak of nature. Obviously, Rafa is too. You don't get to be on the tour and last as long as Rafa does without being extremely gifted physically, and have a lot of tools in the toolbox. So that is not in question. I mean, Rafa is amazing with everything he can do. But to me, the match really came down to one thing. All right, and we're going to get to that. But if you watch that match, you could see that Rafa. Let's just say that this is Zverev and this is Rafa. You could see that Rafa was struggling to stay. We know that when he plays on the hard courts, he often talks about how important it is to play up on the baseline and to stand toe-to-toe with these guys. And you could see several times that Rafa was forced. You can even see my hand kind of leaving the screen. He was forced to, play back and get into defensive mode. And Zverev could hit a winner from seemingly anywhere. I mean, especially what makes him so special is his ability to consistently hit winners down the line on the forehand and backhand wings, as well as he just crushes it both ways. I mean, he seems to be equally as good going down the line and cross court and hit winners. Lots of times, like Rafa, for instance, his strategy is more when Rafa's going to hit cross court, you don't really see him going for winners. So I mean that was a real battle for Rafa, because you're playing against somebody who can hit a winner at any time, anywhere on the court, and you never know when it's going to come, and you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know if it's going to go cross court, if it's going to go down the line, and it's going to go really, really fast. Where Rafa, the way he plays, when he hits his forehand, he kind of, he's looping that thing cross court. Now, of course, a loop for him and a loop for us are two different stories. I mean, he's crushing the ball, but in general, you could see he gets a lot more air on the ball. It's got a lot more spin. He's not trying to hit a winner. He's trying to create an error. Or one thing that Rafa did do very well today is he would hit the loop, and he was hitting his inside out forehand very well. So, Zverev's being offensive all over the court. Rafa, the play that he ran very well today was hitting that loopy ball with the forehand and getting here and crushing. He crushed many, many, many inside out forehand winners. So, Rafa was getting his points by that inside out forehand was big. B, creating some frustration and errors from Zverev. And C, what he does so well is getting himself into kind of a sticky situation, getting on the run and then creating magic on the run. There were several times where Zverev would have him on the run. He'd come to the net. Rafa would hit a dipping shot low to where Zverev had to volley up. And then Rafa would run up in here and finish the point off with a passing shot or a little angle shot past him. So that's how he was winning points. But the thing that I want you to take out of this match is the number one reason that Rafa won today is sheer will. Rafa won today out of absolute sheer will. That's it, plain and simple. You asked, I saw the interview after, and I was thinking it before Rafa said it, but Courier asked, well, how'd you win today? And he says, I was fighting. And it's simple, but it's a simple concept, but it's so hard to do. And if you can learn how to play with sheer will, you can beat so many players that appear to have a lot more weapons than you. I mean, I want you to really understand how hard that match was today for Rafa mentally, because he's playing someone who can hit a winner anywhere on the court at any time and is doing it time and time again. And Rafa knows that he's got to fight and play 3 to 4 times as hard, in my mind. When I'm watching the points, I'm going, Rafa's working 3 to 4 times harder than this guy. And it could be very discouraging. And the guy won the first set. Zverev won the first set. And he's also playing someone who, it's not like playing Kyrgios, where Kyrgios, sure, he can blow you off the court for a couple of games, but okay, if I just hang in there, the guy's going to miss. He was playing somebody who's like, all right, I know this kid really, really wants it, and he's not going to go away, but I'm not going to go away either. And that is so hard to do, to watch a barrage of winners go by you, and the guy looks like he's not working that hard to do that, and then you have to work 3 times as hard to win a point. That takes a lot of courage and a lot of will. And if you can do it, even if it doesn't look like things are in your favor, you can surprise yourself and win a lot of matches that you might feel in your mind that you have no business winning. Because if you just watch the points, there's certain points in there where you're like, Rafa has no business winning against this guy, because this guy can do whatever he wants with the ball. He can serve way bigger than Rafa. He can hit, more winners. But Rafa has that X factor of determination. And so the key is is if you can show the will, even against somebody who also has a lot of will and is willing to work hard, but if you can make them work harder than they're used to. Like Zverev has, I believe, after watching that match, a very high tolerance for playing hard. Like he is willing to grind. He's willing to fight. But he's probably never experienced the level of commitment that he looked across the net and saw today. And eventually, ever so slightly, because it was a coin toss who could have won that match, but ever so slightly, Rafa was able to break him down with that willpower. We saw that in the 5th set, Zverev started to cramp. And so it wasn't one of those matches to where, I'm not talking about a match where you're going to go out there and play somebody who, that can be very flashy and very good, but then the wheels can fall off. That takes a degree of willpower to beat those players as well, because you can watch them get hot and it can be discouraging, and then they will fall. I hate to use Kyrgios as an example, but like a Kyrgios, I'm sure a lot of players can watch him play awesome for a couple of games and go, yeah, but if I just hang in there, I know I can win, because he's got a reputation for doing that. I'm not talking about being those players at the club. That does not take a lot of willpower. You know the end result before you go out and play the match, that's what you have to do. I'm talking about developing that next level of willpower to where when you go out there and you play someone solid and you feel that you are maybe outmatched that day, and that the guy fights hard and the guy's got great shots and that you're pretty good, but he's just a little better, many people would just give up. They would look at what's happening. They would see that the guy's a good player. They would know that maybe they don't have the tools that the other guy has on paper, and fold. But if you are one of the rare people like Rafa who can look at all that on paper and go, you know what? I can still win. I am tougher than anybody that's ever played this game, and I will not lose. That's basically what Rafa does. I mean, he said after the 3rd set when he lost the tiebreaker, he just says, I'm going to fight as hard as I can for every point, and if whatever happens, happens. So that's what he tells himself, and that level of willpower is so strong and can beat so many players that you don't think you can beat, that if you can find it, you will find your game really, really take off in 2017. If you can make that person play more balls, even though they're going to still hit winners on you, but if you can make them play more balls than they are used to playing and stay out on the court longer than they're used to staying on the court, and make them run more than they're used to running, even if you're running more than them, even if you're hitting less winners than them, you can still beat them just out of sheer will. So that is the lesson that I learned today out of watching Rafael Nadal. This is another feather in his cap for securing his amazing legacy in the game, another shining example of why he is one of the greatest players of all time. And I just am super impressed. I mean, because I don't think this kid's going to be unbelievable. And as great as Murray is, and as great as Djokovic is, and so many players, I don't think I've ever seen somebody just hit winners so easily and so consistently. I've seen people do it for a little while, but I mean, he's going to be able to do this his whole career. To me, he's another level of he's the next. He's the changing of the guard. If he can stay healthy, he will do well, because I can see that his mind is not going to go away. He's not going to just fade. He's somebody who's going to be around for a long time, and it's only going to get better. So let me know what you guys think after watching this video. Why do you think Rafa won? Do you think that you can go out there and maybe play with a little more will and win matches. And again, this is against players that you respect greatly, that you feel maybe have more tools than you. I want you to know you can still beat those players. Where a lot of people, when they go out and play those matches, just out of knowing that in their mind, they concede. They fight for a little while and then they don't fight and then they lose. So, if you can do that, you can surprise yourself in a very, very powerful way. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, the breakdown of the match. Let me know what you thought of the match. Let me know what you think of this guy. I think he's going to be #1 in the world someday soon. I'm saying, is he 19 now? I think before he's 23. Yeah, I think 23. He will probably be by then. I think it's a safe bet to say he's going to be #1 in the world, unless somebody out of nowhere can come on the tour with more tools than him. But right now, there's no young player that has more tools than him. I know there's Dominic Thiem. He's awesome, but this guy has more firepower, more tools. There's no one right now out there, a young kid, that's got more tools than this guy. Let me know what you think. Am I missing anybody that's as young as this guy that's suddenly going to surpass him? I do not see it. This is the guy. Super impressive. Great match. Great result for Rafa. Also, do you think that this match is good for Rafa in the Australian Open? Is going to help him build more confidence and go further? Or is this match, now that he's getting a little older, going to take its toll physically and maybe, have him lose in the next couple of matches because he's tired from this? Or will he be able to recover? And, Rafa, in a lot of his Grand Slam wins, has been on the doorsteps of defeat and pulled out, a really tough match in the first week of majors and then gone on to win it and only get better and better. And by the end of the tournament, look unstoppable. Could this be Rafa's coming out party, coming back on the tour from all his injuries? Is he finally healthy? Is he finally feeling the ball? He always says he needs to play with feelings. And is he finally believing that he is back and can compete for a Grand Slam title? And can he actually do it? I want to know all this. It's been a really, really interesting Australian Open, with Djokovic going out. Again, that match, I know people want to probably be saying, what's wrong with Djokovic? But I thought that Djokovic played at a very high level. I didn't think he played bad tennis. I watched a lot of that match, and I thought the other guy just played better. I don't think it was anything to set off alarm bells that Djokovic is finished. Let me know what you guys think about that. Andy Murray looks like he's starting off where he left off in 2016. He looks like he's very strong. And Roger Federer looks like he just does not know how to age. Like, he's 35 and, the other people who are younger than him still look like they're at a disadvantage when they're playing him physically. He looks like he just can float around the court. He doesn't look like he's lost a step. He certainly hasn't lost any shots. His serve seems like it continues to get better. His backhand, he's coming over the ball more on returns. He's going for more winners off the backhand side. I mean, this is a great Australian Open. This is a great start to 2017. I am super, super pumped up about this Australian Open and what it means for 2017. What do you guys see for 2017? Do you see a strong year from Rafa, from Roger, from Novak, from Andy? Out of those guys, who's going to have the slide? Is anybody going to slide? Roger, because of his time off, is in the most danger of sliding ranking-wise. As far as the way he's playing, he's not sliding. But if he would have lost that match to Berdych, which would not have been a bad loss because Berdych is a great player, been the top 10 for most of his career, Roger would have slipped into past 30 in the rankings. He would have been below the ranking of 30. I don't know. He might have been 31, 32. So he's in danger of really slipping the rankings. But his game is so strong now. He looks great. So obviously, I think people are probably also concerned about Djokovic because he is losing. He's actually losing matches now. Where I remember this time, you know, he won the Australian Open last year. Then he won the French. Then he won Wimbledon. And no, wait, he didn't win 3 last year though, did he? Did he win 3 last year? Help me on that, guys. No, he lost Wimbledon. He lost Wimbledon. That's right. He won the French, and then that's when he kind of slipped. So, you know, I guess maybe most of you out there are thinking that Djokovic might be in the most danger of slipping. It's probably Djokovic or Rafa in most people's opinion, but they all look strong to me. I think this is going to be a fantastic year. I think all the guys are going to play great, and I think Zverev is going to make a huge move this year, a huge move. So those are my picks. I want to know your picks. That's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This is a live broadcast. Let me know if you like the live broadcast. Should I do more of them? And thanks so much for watching, and enjoy your tennis out there.